Greetings, Cancer and Cancer Rising. This is your Western forecast for May 2024. There's a major lineup of 5 planets in Taurus. Taurus is 11 signs past Cancer. If you have 3 planets in a sign, that's a strong emphasis. But the whole world is going to be experiencing 5 planets. And there's going to be some big shifts of energies because the sun in Taurus will be crossing over Uranus, as it does once a year, the whole time that Uranus went into Taurus in 2018. But there's a new moon in Taurus in your 11th on the May the 7th, but it's aligned with Uranus. Uranus, the sun crossing Uranus, the new moon on the Uranus, which is holding your attention for those next 4 weeks into the first week of June. Uranus is that breakthrough, liberating energy, a strong desire for personal freedoms, maybe quitting your job, starting your own business, getting more involved with technology, maybe on the side with Uranus ruling technology. That could be having your own online business. Those 5 planets in Taurus is in your 11th. And the 11th is the sector of friendships, of your long-range plans and goals, of networking, of socializing. You could get a lot of support from friends and associates, but also really focused on your long-range goals and aspirations. That's the 11th house. The sun will leave Taurus, go into Gemini on the 20th. And Gemini is the sign prior to Cancer. So that could be where now you're starting to take these long-term projects and start to work and develop on them. But before I get into all that detail, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find direct links to sign up for my free daily message or how to book an astrology reading. All right, let's start breaking this down. The first 3 weeks, the sun every May is in Taurus. And where the sun is shining is where your attention is being drawn to. Now, the new moon is going to be on May the 7th in Taurus. And the new moon is where now your intention is now set. And that's your main focus for the next 4 weeks until the next new moon, which will be in Gemini at that end of the first week of June. So the sun, the first 3 weeks, is keeping your attention on 11th house matters. The new moon in Taurus will really focus that intention into the first week of June. That's important to know because the sun will leave Taurus on May the 20th and go into Gemini. So bringing in some new interests. But having that strong 11th house, you're certainly going to be focused, some of you, on your long-range goals and aspirations. And with the 11th, which can also be friendships and associates, you could be doing a lot of networking to go after your long-range goals or getting the help of friends and associates. Venus is the planet of love and desire and creativity. Venus is also in Taurus the first 23 days. Well, Venus is very sociable. In the 11th house, you may be doing, expanding your social circle, doing more networking, really enjoying your friendships, making new friendships. That's that loving Venus in the 11th. Then we have Jupiter. Jupiter is that planet of abundance, of expansiveness, of opportunity. Jupiter went into Taurus in May of 2023. And it's there through May 2020, the 25th, May the 25th. So we're in the last weeks of Jupiter in your 11th house. The Jupiter is bringing a lot of support and generosity from friends, that's the 11th house, business associates, that's the 11th house, doing a lot of networking or socializing to really help you, that can be supportive of achieving your long-range goals. Mercury is in Aries the first 2 weeks. It's been in Aries for a while because it was retrograde in April. So actually Mercury, and I talked about this prior in other videos, business savvy negotiating Mercury went into fiery Aries into your 10th house of business matters in March. And then it was retrograding April the 1st till April the 25th. That retrograde could have been this revising, re-editing, things stuck on hold. April the 25th, the Mercury started to go direct. And as it catches up to its regular speed, you're having more clarity, more focus, more confidence with your decision making. As that Mercury, the first 2 weeks of May, is strong in Aries, decisive, in your 10th house of business and career matters. So and Mars is the ambitious, assertive planet. It's a 2-year cycle through all the signs. And in the end of April, it went into Aries. Mars is the ruling planet for Aries. So Mars is at home in Aries once every 2 years. That makes Mars really strong and confident and ambitious for everybody. So for Cancer and Cancer rising, the Mars is in Aries in your 10th house of careers from the end of April, all of May, through the first week of June. There's a lot of risk-taking, confidence, asserting new business projects. And with the negotiating Mercury in your 10th house the first 2 weeks, and with Mars there, you could be really active, busy with negotiating and launching new business projects with the help of the 11th house of friends and associates, are really focused on going after your long-range goals and aspirations with business. Now, the Sun will leave Taurus and go into Gemini into your 12th house for 4 weeks, once a year. The 12th house is the shadow. It's a time of introspection. But Venus, that planet of desire and sociability, creativity, is going into Gemini once a year on May the 23rd into your 12th house, the shadow house. But what's protecting you, because the 12th house by itself can be heavy, depressing, feeling stuck. It is very favorable for spiritual practices, for charity, for deep introspection, but it can be a challenging area, except that expansive, lucky, optimistic Jupiter, for the first time in 12 years, is going into Gemini, into your 12th house on May the 25th, 2024. Will be there for 1 year. Now, Jupiter is also the planet of religion and philosophy and learning, seeking knowledge, and going into that 12th house could be really favorable for spiritual practices, but for most people, it's going to be really favorable for going back to school and getting that degree or getting more professional training, because Jupiter in Gemini is really seeking a lot of knowledge and education. In the 12th house is having to pull away from a lot of your external activities so you have time and space to study and research and prepare. So having that Mars-Mercury in the 10th house of careers in the first half of May, there's a major aggressive push for new business ventures. Then the 5-planet lineup in Taurus in your 11th. Yes, you could get the support of organizations and friendships and networking, but also I think there's a major emphasis for you to be really looking at the next 5 years, the next 10 years, or your long-range dreams and aspirations. And with that Mercury-Mars in the 10th house, and Mars is there through the first week of June, you are really going after these long-range goals. Therefore, now the Jupiter going into Gemini, into your shadow sector, along with the Sun and Venus, I think what that's telling me for most of you is not the dark side of the 12th house, feeling stuck and isolated, but you've been given this opportunity to really go after big goals in life, and now you got to do the work. Whether this is got to get that degree that to maybe achieve your long-range goals, or you need to build and develop your own business, or which goes along with new professional skills. That's the whole 12th house. Also, the new moon on May the 7th is in Taurus in that 11th house, but it's next to Uranus. Uranus is that innovative, progressive, exciting breakthrough energies. So with the 11th house, and the Sun's in Taurus in the 11th that will be crossing over the Uranus. So you've got a Sun-Uranus connection, and the new moon in the 11th is conjuncting Uranus. What does all that mean? For many of you, there could be some exciting breakthrough opportunities. And with Uranus, maybe doing your own thing, having your own business. Uranus could also deal with technology, and one of the big ways you can be independent, have freedom, have your own business with the technology of Uranus if you had your own online business, or you got more into consulting, which and then you'd be using Zoom, computers, technologies to do perhaps the consulting, to do your own thing. That new moon was planting your intentions for doing your own thing, for more freedom and independence on May the 7th. 2 weeks later is the full moon. The full moon is when everything comes to light of what the new moon was trying to bring in, these new goals, these new aspirations. The full moon brings it to a culmination. It reveals what's working, what's not working. So around the 23rd, that full moon is in Sagittarius, falling in your 6th house. The 6th house deals with your job. And so that might be this recognition from the new moon as we're going through May, that it's time to get really serious about learning new job skills so you can have your own business, or it's time to really think about how to quit your job and have more personal freedoms. But there's a lot of emphasis, and I think it's more positive for most of you, with advancing with work and career matters. Now, Cancer, this is part of the forecast where I like to look at how all these planetary energies are impacting your body, your love life, your business. When it comes to your health, your vitality, when the Sun goes into the shadow sector, but because I think there's a lot of positive advancement going on here, you could be getting tired from this end of May going into June because you're not getting enough sleep, because you're burning the candle at both ends, and you might be really feeling exhausted or run down when that full moon on the 23rd, around the 23rd, because yes, it's falling in the 6th house of your daily work matters, really focusing on new work job skills. But the 6th house also deals with body maintenance. And so I think all of this busyness could be catching up to you. And so what you just, as you get towards, that last week of May, I think most of you just needs to pace yourself, rest, and trying not to burn the candle at both ends. Now, when it comes to relationships, the Venus is where I start. Venus is the planet of love and compromise and union. And the Venus is in Taurus. Venus rules Taurus. So Venus is really strong in Taurus, and it's there the first 23 days of May. Venus in Taurus is a very sensual, romantic desires, and it's in the 11th house. Well, that could be getting a lot of support or feeling or getting more love from a friend or making a new friend. But I think with the 11th house has a lot to do with groups and organizations. And so with Venus there, you could be attending a lot of social networking, parties, hanging out with friends. So this can be a very social time. And who knows, maybe a friend becomes a little bit something more. But the love planet Venus, pleasurable Venus, goes into your shadow sector on May the 23rd for several weeks. That's usually a time of wanting to lay low. And I think that goes along with being tired because you're having all these major projects you're trying to launch, and you just can't keep socializing the way you had been and building this whole new project without starting to feel run down, and you just need a break. But it all looks really good for business. And the first several weeks of May, with that Venus in Taurus, it's still really good for socializing, attending parties, and for making new friends or getting real generous support from friendships. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to sign up for my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.go. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.